Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers on this channel by the end of the playoffs, so your subscription will be much appreciated. Also drop a like on this video, only takes 1 second and it makes a massive difference. It's hot takes, let's get into it. Actually, I should mention real quick, podcast tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Shoot Around. That is going to be linked in the description. Go check it out. Talking all the stuff currently going on in basketball. All right, let's actually get into it now. If your coach refuses to play a rookie just because they're a rookie, they don't need to be a coach unless you're a title contender on the level of the Suns, Bucks, or Nets. Let the rookie play and see what you get before discounting them altogether. Well, should be factored in here that it has to be a rookie that is actually deserving of NBA level minutes, that should be capable of playing NBA level minutes, because like you said, if they refuse to play a rookie just simply because they're a rookie, I agree with that. Not necessarily that they shouldn't be a coach, but that it's really fucking annoying. Tom Thibodeau had a reputation of that. He refused to play Doug McDermott in his rookie year, even though Doug was the 11th pick in the draft, and I was like, dog, play your player, like, please. And he would only get garbage time. And then the next year, he was finally given opportunity, but even then, he was still held on a kind of short leash. It really bothered me at the time when Doug McDermott was not given those minutes. Obviously, it doesn't really matter now because Doug didn't turn out to be anything particularly special. But yeah, that was frustrating at the time, and I can see why it's frustrating to people who deal with it now. Play your rookie if he's an actual NBA minutes level player. Just do it. Even if you are a contender level team, like, if your guy is good enough to be in the rotation, he should be in the rotation. Who gives a fuck if he's a rookie? So yeah, I agree. Russell Westbrook is higher all time than James Harden. Other than the triple doubles thing, James Harden has the same amount of MVPs. I'm pretty sure more all NBA selections, or at least on a similar par all-star team and stuff like that. Even though Russ was a little bit ahead of him, I think it balances out. No, James Harden is a better player, so that's what makes a difference to me. I feel like their accolades are actually probably relatively in the same ballpark. I couldn't think of it perfectly off the top of my head, but when it's that close in the accolades department, the better player is going to get ranked higher for me. And James Harden, at his peak, better player than Russell Westbrook. Sorry. The Lakers are still a dark horse to win it all. LeBron dropping 50 twice a week proves that. No. And I don't know why LeBron dropping 50 twice a week would prove that, because if anything, that proves just how much they need him to do an unbelievable carry job for them to be competitive. High volume scoring is rarely actually a good thing over a long stretch of time, because it usually means the team is so incompetent they need somebody to take over for them. In this instance, LeBron dropping 50 is cool, and it's a good indicator of the type of player that he's still capable of being. But if you want to make the argument for the Lakers overall, no. If you want to make the argument for LeBron being as good as he is, and that means that they could win, sure. With a player like LeBron in LeBron's tier, you're kind of never guaranteed to lose a series just because of how good that individual is. But no, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. Anthony Edwards will be the face of the league in 5 years. You know, in terms of pure potential, Ant definitely is up there. But if I had to guess, I would say he's not quite going to be the face of the league. Maybe he'll be like the most popular player or one of them just because he's American, and that seems to be the way it goes. People can't allow Giannis to be the face of the league because they're xenophobic. They have to, like, force it to be Zion or Ja Morant. That's a whole fucking conversation that I might make a video on one day. But yeah, I could see Ant being one of the 10 best players in the league one day for sure. And because he's a huge and fantastic personality that anyone could get behind, that could definitely be a cause for him to be really fucking popular. So I could see that. Probably would have to get out of Minnesota, though, to really break onto the scene like that. The Memphis Grizzlies will make the NBA Finals. They will beat whoever the 7th seed ends up being, most likely the Timberwolves, beat Golden State in the second round, and beat Phoenix, if they even make it, to get to the finals. You know, at this point, your take might as well be that they're going to win the championship, Because if they're going to beat the Warriors and they're going to beat the Suns, they can probably beat whoever's in front of them in the Eastern Conference. I mean, there's a chance the Sixers or the Nets or the Bucks are actually better than those teams, and especially after a tired team had to fight those two teams back to back in presumably like a 7-game series. Fatigue could be a factor in that and it'd make the difference, but if you're going to say they're going to beat the Suns, you might as well say they're going to go all the way because, first of all, the Timberwolves are not going to be an easy first-round matchup if they remain the 7th seed. Golden State is really good. Phoenix, really good. So I'm going to bank on this not happening. I think both Phoenix and Golden State are better teams than the Grizzlies, and I think the Timberwolves are good enough that they could push it to like a 6-game series versus the Grizzlies. So I disagree. Even if the Bucks lost to the Nets in the playoffs last year, the Nets would have still lost to the red-hot Hawks or Phoenix Suns in the finals. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Even Kevin Durant said this himself. Some reporter asked him about if they had won Game 7, and he was like, do you think I was going to be able to carry us all the way? Because that was not sustainable. And I appreciate that he said that because it wasn't sustainable. That way of leading the team, that style in general is just not sustainable, and there's a lesson learned there. One player individually carrying a team is never a good thing. So it's impressive on that individual's part, but if your team is in the situation where you're getting carried by someone, you really shouldn't be proud of that. That's a problem. And they were going to lose in the conference, or at the very least finals, with that situation. Maybe James Harden gradually gets better and is able to produce more, but doubt it and wouldn't bank on it. Instead of rebuilding solely off of the draft, the Thunder should use some of their insane amount of picks to trade for a superstar level player and look to contend within the next 2 to 3 years. I agree with this. I also feel this is necessary for the sake of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't know how long he's going to continue to be happy being this garbage team while we wait to build talent. This year, draft a really high level prospect, and then probably whoever is a star level player who's relatively young, trade for them this offseason. Now it depends on who becomes available. And it can't be someone who's 32. If Dame is on the trade block, they shouldn't trade for Dame. But if someone who's 25 or younger became available, or 26 or something, you could probably look into that player. And I don't want them to play this draft pick game forever because, again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, don't know how long he's going to be patient with the situation, and you want to capitalize on your assets, and you can't draft everybody, and I think over-relying on the draft is a bad thing, as I've mentioned before. So, yeah, turn some of your picks into actual players in a non-draft context. The Lakers front office would be Kings level bad if they were in a small market. They got bailed out by LeBron just deciding to go with them even when they were garbage. I disagree with this because the Lakers were really, really good at drafting before LeBron got there. If you look, they hit on almost all of their picks for the last 5 seasons previous to LeBron showing up. Now, everything else they did outside of drafting, the contracts that they would throw out, not good, like Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov and such, but their drafting is so good that I wouldn't put them on Kings level of bad. Deandre Ayton will leave the Suns next year. Yeah, this is a real possibility that I don't think people are talking about enough. It's definitely, there's a real chance this happens because, first of all, the Suns have found a lot of success with non-Ayton centers. They've managed to more than keep their head above water when he hasn't played. And DeAndre seems to, it seems as though the fit situation is that DeAndre is ready to expand upon his game, and Phoenix doesn't really want him to do that. So to me, it feels like they're holding him back, and I would like to see him elsewhere as a result of that. But there's also internal conflict there with the front office and that coaching in that situation. So I don't know. It's definitely very feasible. Speaking of OKC earlier, they should throw him a max contract and maybe throw Phoenix some picks in a sign and trade. Because I think DeAndre, really good young player who could average 25 and 10 given the proper opportunity, and he'd find himself with that proper opportunity in Oklahoma. Markelle Fultz has a chance to grow into a legit superstar. His injuries just need to stop. Unfortunately, his jumper is too broke that I don't think it's getting any better than just adequate from here. It would be kind of a miracle if he got any better than that. And for that reason, I don't know that a guard can be a superstar without a good jump shot or like crazy slashing and playmaking abilities like Morant. And I don't think that he's going to get there in that regard either. I do believe he can be an all-star again. In the first like 5 games of the season, he shot like 70% from mid-range, but then he fell completely off a cliff from there. But there's a world where Markelle Fultz still figures this out. He's a really good playmaker. He's a pretty good defensive player. And he has a decent enough like scoring game inside the perimeter. His mid-range percentages have been not terrible. But the 3 ball is just disgusting. And I don't know that you can really work around that to get to superstar level anyways. But yeah, that was Hot Takes. Goodbye.